And let's take a look at today's stock market numbers as they wrap up for a Friday. The Dow Jones was down 21.42. The NASDAQ down almost 5 points. And the Standard & Poor's down 4.17. Rob Black is here to talk about your money. What's your feeling about the week of stocks this week? At least it didn't end as bad as they expected it was going to, the way things were going earlier.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. The employment numbers today were obviously going to be a big, that's going to be important, but we had an up week, and we were down pretty big this morning on the employment numbers, but we've fought our way back to end almost unchanged. So I'm pretty pleased. We're running out a little bit of gas because you and I have been saying there's been 3 up weeks in a row. So it feels like we're starting to get a little toppy right now.
Well, let's talk about the jobs numbers. I mean, for the nation, the job numbers are pretty flat. They stay at 9.5% in terms of the jobless numbers. What would make industry start to hire again? What are they waiting for? Because we know that a lot of companies do have money they're waiting to move, but not ready to move. Why?
Ultimately, we've had productivity gains, so the people who've been let go have been replaced by other people stepping up and doing their jobs. There was some data inside the employment numbers, like hourly work week and hourly wages, that crept a little bit higher, which is nice. But also I saw an institute study today that said it's going to be 11 years before we get to the employment that we want to at the pace of snail's pace that we're adding jobs. So to replace all the ones that were lost, 11 years.
11 years?
That makes me an old person. So that's a little bit alarming. So I think
what would make industry and manufacturers, everybody, what would make business start to kick up with jobs?
Obama's doing his best, in my opinion, to try to create some industrialization in green energy. A lot of people love that, and a lot of people hate it. When the government says, let this be the green battery manufacturer, and let this be the solar panel maker, it kind of stifles innovation and technology. I would prefer tax breaks for businesses, paying no business taxes for a couple of years, getting some incentives on some small-term loans for small businesses. But, you know, it's government action to enable the small business to do what it wants to.
Okay. Let's look at the wheat prices. They're soaring right now. A lot of people are also talking about the fires in Russia. They're having so much trouble with their issue with those fires that are destroying a lot of their agricultural crops over there. We're having our own problems with these wheat prices soaring, which may ultimately affect bread and flour and everything else.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's a neat story when, you know, it's working on Wall Street right now. It's wheat. Wheat's up 80% in the last year. That's crazy, which basically means you and I are going to be paying more for pasta, for breads, for pizza, for cereal. We have about another month of the middlemen, the manufacturers, holding the prices themselves before they pass it on to we, the consumers. So it's interesting to watch. And again, there's always something on Wall Street that's working, Pam. And in this case, it happens to be wheat because Russia said, we're not going to export anymore. We've had a drought. We've had fires. We're keeping it all in our own country.
So what's happening with our wheat crops? This is more Russia than us?
This is more Russia than us. Okay. We're fine. We'll net export. So companies like Archer Daniels Midland will make a huge profit. Monsanto will make nice profit, as will potash.
And real quick, let's look at what happened today with HP. They're letting go Mark Hurd. He's been slapped with a sexual harassment lawsuit. Any problems for HP? They're looking for a new CEO now?
Stock's down about 10% on that news because not only he came in and he replaced Carly Fiorina.
Yeah, and they liked what he did.
Took the stock from 16 to 50.
Yeah.
And he's been great for under-promising Wall Street and over-delivering. He's great at firing people, which is an odd thing, but he's got an art to it so that HP looks great. If HP continues to dip, I would be a buyers on dip because a sexual harassment story will go away and they'll still have those business revenues and services there.
Okay. All right. Well, Rob is going to come back. He's going to answer your email questions, and we have a lot more news ahead, so stay with us.